right, impromptu video. You're going to have fun with this one. Hadn't done one for a while. My webcam sucks. So I'm on cell phone and it's echoey in my kitchen. You start. I'm playing.
Don't make me start.
All right, just a quick update. Because I was typing and I was going to write a book on here. I'm supposed to look at this magical dot. So if I'm looking over this way, I swear to God, I'm not crazy-eyed. All right, so we had a webinar today. I think this is the 5th or 6th webinar with the FDA. And
which are all a joke.
Yeah, I'm having a drink tonight. FDA has, we already knew this, they've lost their damn mind. I guess it was about a half hour today and we learned nothing. I'm kind of saying this stuff to stress to you guys. I had to write down, I got a cheat sheet here in front of me. August 8th, we all know the date. We have 26 days. That's where we're at, so it's getting here fast. Kind of want to let you guys know a little bit of what I've been doing and what we've been doing. The fight's still going on, so I don't think this is a defeatist video, by no means. Quick recap of what we've done. Several of the stores in the area, we're still talking and getting together. I wish I could go into more details, but I would forget a lot of it. But Carol for Yummy Nectar, that's one of Keith at Wolf River Vapor's vendors, did a lot of work and got us a meeting. Me, Keith, Carol, my wife, Ken and Carla with Chase the Vape, we all met with Steve Cohen's office. It was actually one of his main staffers and their boss. I'll be honest with you, I was one of the ones that went in with kind of really not expectations. I'm not a Steve Cohen fan, but you do what you have to do to fight. Haven't heard back yet on anything, but they're very receptive. They didn't blow us off. They didn't brush us off. We were explaining to them about the things that were going on, HR 2058, Cole Bishop. So much that when the lady sat down, she's like, wait a minute, can I listen? So wish I could go into more detail, but there's so much because we were all trying to throw thoughts. But anyway, it went well. It just shows people are receptive to the things that we're talking about. Some of these people are not even aware of how bad it is because the guy basically, when we told him some stuff, you could tell he's like, that's crazy. That's ridiculous. So as more and more of this stuff goes along and you hear stuff that's not moving, it's still making an impact. I don't know if anything's going to be heard this year. I don't know that it's actually going to happen. I doubt it. Don't quote me on that. But when you see the 2058 and the Cole Bishop, we're still moving into next year. So we want to still gain steam and gain people on, get as many people on this as we can. I'm trying to figure out, like I said, I don't want this too boring. Before we get to the FDA, we've had some bad things happen. Indiana, I'm sure, as you know, with that bullshit law, pardon my French, is going to come out tonight. Creating the monopoly that they did, basically you saw pictures on my webpage and probably others, or Facebook rather. Several of those stores are closed now. So you've got the state levels that we're messing with. Something went down in West Virginia, I wish I could remember, but their taxes were ridiculous. Saw today, Pennsylvania, this was something Dimitri posted, passed a 40% wholesale tax. This is what they called a floor tax, which basically said that any store in their product, they have to pay tax on everything that's in their shop. So it was a bullshit bill. It shuts every single vape store down in Pennsylvania. They can't afford it. They can't do it. It was supposed to gain revenue. So now we've got vaping gone in Pennsylvania. So we got to keep fighting, guys. If it happens there, it happens in these states. Don't think it can't happen here. You've heard of the different e-liquid bills and the taxes and whatnot. Back to FDA. They're crazy. They have, I think it was May 7th, I think it was, when all this kind of started. They still don't have a clue. They probably have a clue, but they're playing stupid. Anything that anybody has asked has been, could be, might be, possibly is. We can't get a direct answer. These companies that are supposed to file their PMT applications, it doesn't exist yet. They've only put out, and they're proud of it, 2 guidance documents on their website. The FDA website's, to me, not very user-friendly. They brag that it is, but it's not. So here we are again, 26 days, and there's no true pathway to it. I'm sure you've seen the lawsuits. I want to say it's 6 or 7. The 2 big ones were combined. I feel good about the lawsuits. I do think they're going to have positive results on changing the grandfather date, among some other things. We're just going to have to let it play out. I believe, I'm not going to quote exact dates, they filed a lawsuit, FDA has to respond, and it kind of bounces back and forth with the whole litigation system. Sometime in October, I believe, is when their first voices are heard. I guess that's when they get to actually speak. Now, that could take 6 months. It could take 5 years. I have no idea, but the lawsuits are moving forward, and there's some very smart people and a lot of powerful people behind these. My only concern, and I've talked to a lot of people, are the juice manufacturers. Again, I'm just one man's opinion, or man and wife. We can get all this stuff done. I'm not seeing any pathway for the e-liquids right now. Personally, everything I can find, everything I can read. We can have devices all day long. I can't find anything with the PMTA process that's going to allow any e-liquid manufacturer to continue forth after 3 years. I don't see it. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm proven wrong. I can't find it anywhere. The application portion is free, but the stuff that they're asking, and it's coming down to like sticking rats and checking pregnant women.
It's millions of dollars and hours upon hours and experts that nobody can afford. Just for the FDA to say no.
Right, and what I've tried to tell you, a lot of you out there, there's still people coming in the shop, and I think everybody else's shop that still doesn't believe this is severe as it's happening. I mean, they don't have the time. If they did, that's one thing, but, even as passionate as I am, if I were a businessman, and this is going to sound bad, but think of this as a business perspective, and at the end of the day, we can care, and we are passionate, but it's still a business. If you were sitting on top of $100 million, think about a juice company. Would you be willing to spend $30-40 million to do all this research and all this testing just to have the FDA 9 times out of 10, if not 9.99 out of 10, say we're not going to approve it? It's bad business. No one's going to risk that money. Let's say for a fluke you did get that done. You just spent, say, $30-40 million. Let's say you spent $5 million. How much do you think you're going to have to raise your product now to recoup that money? It's not a greed factor. It's just a business sense. So, your e-liquid now that you spent $5 million on, you're going to want to recoup that. I'm not going to call out names, but I've spoken to 2 big e-liquid companies. Actually, one of the owners, and I've talked to several vape stores and vape store manufacturers, not here locally, just people I've talked to. These companies are planning exit strategies as we speak. Not that they're giving up, but they have to be realistic. Okay, they've got wives, husbands, children. They're already giving in to worst case scenarios. You have to. So when these stores are already not renewing leases, they're already getting out of the business. That lets you know this is getting bad. There's already 2 vape stores in Memphis, not anything huge hitters, and I'm trying to call them out, but it's just being honest. There's 2 stores in Memphis up for sale as we speak. It's not that they don't care, but when you've got a potential to lose several $1,000s and you don't see a light at the end of the tunnel, you move on to bigger and better things, especially when you're taking care of loved ones. The things we did not learn today, or kind of reaffirm, again, FDA's lost their damn mind. I'm sure I've repeated some of this already. We can't import from China. All of us have stateside wholesalers, and some of them are over here, but we can't import anything. This is basically on tobacco products. If we import, we're now a tobacco manufacturer. If I purchase anything and I add a label to it, I'm a tobacco manufacturer. Say cotton, for example. Buy a big thing of cotton, and I take out the big bag of 100 pieces of cotton, and I put 5 pieces of cotton into a little plastic bag. I'm a tobacco manufacturer. If, let's say, and I'm going to use this as an example, that's usually have to do it for, an elderly woman comes into my store after August 8th, a clearmizer, and she's having issues with her coil. I can't physically open up that tank and change her coil for her now, or else I'm a tobacco manufacturer. They've lost their mind. They're adding more, it seems, or maybe they just hadn't been clear. Basically, they're just encumbering anything out of that vape store is now a tobacco product. They even went on the cigar side and the tobacco side. If you buy a wooden pipe at a tobacco or a pipe store, whatever they are, I don't know, tobacco stuff, it's now considered a tobacco product or a component. They were talking about hookah. The charcoal for hookah is now a tobacco product. It's not just charcoal. So they've lost their mind. The FDA keeps claiming they're being transparent, but they're just kind of blanket and saying, that is what it is. They were real clear on trying to how to turn in people if you see someone selling something they shouldn't. Go to their web address, the phone number. They're happy to get you busted if you're doing something wrong. We've had a few arguments here locally saying they're not going to be checking these stores. Yeah, they're going to be checking these stores. You're going to get inspected. maybe 2 weeks, maybe 6 months, you're going to get inspected. So a lot of these stores, they got to fly right, man. It's not like a $10 fine. Let's see. Can't change labels after August 8th.
Basically, you can't change anything at all about your product after August 8th, or you have to submit a PMTA. Since we all know that nothing new, not a new color, new version, new nothing after August 8th. So if you change anything, you have to submit a PMTA and you can't sell it.
Of course, again, no new products. So the version 2s, version 3s, I think most of us knew that. That's gone. That's why the amount of pre-order stuff out right now is ridiculous. It's so you're going to have plenty of stuff for a while, but there's a lot of stuff coming in the next couple, 26 days, or they're shit out of luck. Again, the 18, we were fully in support of the 18 and up. That's fine. Bottles, that's already changed. FDA is taking credit for that, but that was already passed earlier in the year for compliance. Again, we've had up in our store a sign, when you go into a vape store, if they're flying above board and doing the right thing, we cannot do free samples. I've had this on my shelf, but I guarantee you people are going to walk in and go, huh? I think right now we're all kind of agreeing on $1. Could be $2. I don't know. Me and the other vape shops, we're talking. I think we're going to all try and be on the same level. We don't want to charge. I'm going to stress this. We don't want to do this. Now, we can't say that we are donating it after the fact because of the language, but we're going to donate everything to the lawsuit fund. I'm not going to make a penny off anybody for sampling e-liquids. It's ridiculous, but we do have to charge. If you go in a vape store and they're not charging, and you go to one of us other stores and see us doing it, I promise you, we're doing the legal right way per the FDA. If they're doing it, they're either trying to get by with it or they just don't know. They may not know. There's a lot of people that don't know. So it's not that they're shady, but we have to charge.
Our hands are tied on that.
Let's see. No changes without authorization. And the reason you'll hear stuff argue with, they've customers have said they don't regulate zero nicotine. FDA language does contradict themselves quite a bit. So no, they don't regulate zero nicotine, or zero nicotine e-liquid. I don't know what else you would use zero nicotine e-liquid for. We've made jokes about sex lube, et cetera, et cetera. There's been a lot of jokes about that, but really, I don't know what you do other than vape it. So the FDA states, no, we do not regulate zero nicotine. However, once you put that zero nicotine into a tank or a clearmizer, it now becomes a part or a component, which now places that zero nicotine inside that tank and gives them authority. So they say they don't, but yeah, they really do regulate it. Zero nicotine is also a tobacco product.
We have to label them as such. Zero nicotine juice has to have a label that states it is a tobacco product.
So yeah, I think I've said this 3 times. They've lost their damn mind. There's so many stores.
They're smoking crack. I have no idea.
I said, me and Ken and Keith and Tiffany, we all sat down, we had some beers, and you could see the look. We're all just tired. We're all just, it's not funny, but you can't help but laugh about some of it because I think these webinars are fake. Again, this is my opinion. If I'm wrong, so be it, but I think they're staged, pre-recorded. I don't think they're actually taking questions from anybody. I think they're just making up questions and acting a little play out, but most of it's bullshit. There's just no other way around it. Let's see. Also, if we say anything or we do add a label, if we do any of the stuff I mentioned on the beginning of this and we don't register as a manufacturer, now we are a misbrander, which leads up to enforcement. Enforcement is a warning letter, then you've got monetary fines up to seizure, so they can actually come in and take all your shit. I'm sorry for the language, guys. Normally I try and stay nice, but I'm at home tonight and I'm tired. Let's see. I think that's kind of all on my little cheat sheet. And again, I'm on the kitchen because my webcam sucks. On a brighter note, on the 23rd, we are doing our cloud comp. I'm sure we're going to find different ways to do it. They'll be very different than what you guys are used to. The free sample thing sucks. They can't even send us free samples from companies any longer. So we're trying to do one big blowout where it's free. We are going to take all the money that we donate and we're going to match. Hopefully we'll get a good turnout. We've got a good raffle at the store. It's a $500 kit. And you kind of help me. I don't have my cheat sheet not in front of the computer, but it's going to be an IPV, not IPV, excuse me, a Yeehee Q class mini, the new one, the nice one, the dual 18650. 200 watts. You're going to get a set of batteries.
Charger.
The charger.
Juice line.
A juice line.
The Crown 2.
Is it the Crown 2 that we're doing on that one? It is the Crown 2 and a set of coils. So anyhow, whole package. We're doing the tickets for $5. You don't have to be present, but we are going to draw those the evening of the Cloud Comp. That's going to be 5 till 9 or whenever people decide to get out at the shop in Bartlett. It'll be kind of like the last one. We had a good turnout. I want to say we had between 60 to 80 people show up at the last one. We had a good time. Food, had a DJ. It worked out pretty fun.
And again, all the money for the raffle tickets, you can buy them at our store. All of the money that we raise with the raffle, all of it is going to the advocacy lawsuit.
Right. I'm going to take everything and I'm going to do all this and donate it to TSFA. I've been assured that they're going to direct the money properly. It's a good organization. So it got so confusing. You had SFATA, you had CASA, TSFA, who was a part of SFATA, who's now a part of VTA. Then you had a whole big conspiracy thing with VTA. It got very confusing for all of us, but we are going to give everything from the raffle on the first prize. We're going to donate to that. We're doing a $5 admission also on the Cloud Comp. Don't be cheap, guys. It's advocacy. I mean, I know free is free, but sadly there's some people that don't want to put a penny towards it. We'll also have a regular collection if anyone shows up there. I'd rather you see $5 towards the raffle to get a prize versus just money, but anything we can do on that level, we want to get as much as we can. The Cloud Comp, we are doing 2. Last time, the teams, you guys, I can't blow O's, man. You know as well as I do, if you've not been at a Cloud Comp, some of these people are very serious. They practice, they're pros at it. Some of the other customers kind of felt left out or defeated because they're like, well, I don't have a chance. So we're doing 2 series on this. One basically a beginners. Not that I'm calling you a noob. I can't compete, and I've been vaping for over 4 years. But we want other people that have not been in comps before, not known. Mallory's going to help organize this. We're going to know if you're trying to act like you're a noob and you're not. Anything will happen. So that's going to give the first level. That one's going to be a DNA 75. It's another tank, batteries, full kit, juice line, the whole shebang. For first place, second place, I believe, is we're doing a $50 store credit. Third place is going to be a juice line. On the main Cloud Comp, may add to that because I know people like more free stuff, sadly, but it is what it is. That is another IP, or why do I keep saying IPV? It's crazy. The Q class, it's a $200 mod, 4 batteries, 6 bay charger. It's the eFest Bluetooth one. It's the one we use. I like it. What tank did we have for that one? Anyway, it's a tank, coils, full setup on that end of it. May get some feedback from you guys if you made it this far. You probably didn't. If you did, props to you. But I have my unicorn. It's my Virtus mod. You probably won't be able to find another one. If you are, you're very lucky. I have one at the shop. I have one that's my baby. I would never sell it. All brass, one of the lowest voltage drop, hardest hitting tube mods you can imagine. I think there were 1,000, I believe, made in the U.S. and they stopped. I don't even think they made clones of them. That may be going in the prize bucket, probably is along on the first prize. So it'll be a good prize, guys, and for a good cause. So other than that, we're still trucking along. Just kind of felt like rambling. I was typing, and next thing I know, I had a TLDR kind of thing going. So keep in mind, we're all talking. The shops are, I can't speak for everybody, but I've talked more to Ken and Keith, and Tiffany's been with us, and I have in quite a long time. It's kind of nice. It's like it was back in the beginning. We're all kind of coming together, and hopefully we'll do that across the whole freaking
Don't stop
country.
fighting.
So August 8th, guys, 26 days. I wish I had better news for you, but the lawsuits are good. We just got to keep on trucking. Into my ramble. Sorry for my crappy webcam. Bye.